is facing right now. And I want to read it to you because it's tied into the communist Frank Marshall Davis, the untold story of Barack Obama's mentor. And when I read you his letter, you will find out that Obama's looking the other way or encouraging this gender garbage, by the way, and melting us down morally and culturally is not by accident. It is part of the Frankfurt School. It is about the cultural Marxism that he has been steeped in, and it is about the death of America. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Your Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust for tangible assets, gold and silver. Call 800-BUI-COIN. The risks... You know, it's interesting to me, with the Pope moving so far to the left and spewing forth the entire radical leftist agenda with regard to virtually everything except family values. He has not yet caved in on the gender garbage, climate change, you name it. He's a far leftist. He may as well be a professor at one of America's institutions of lower living. I believe that what he is doing to the church, Obama is doing to America. They're one and the same. And they're related to the same mindset. And here's a letter from a professor of political science, Paul Kengor, that I have to read to you. Michael, I'm writing because you're one of the few talk show hosts who understand the history and figures that I lay out in my new book. Not only are you familiar with the likes of Marx and Engels and their toxic ideas on the family, marriage, sex, private property, religion, and on, but you're one of the rare people who knows the cultural Marxists, the Frankfurt School, Herbert Marcuse, Wilhelm Reich, Betty Friedan, Kate Millett, The New Left, Ayers and Dorn and Rudd and Hayden, John Dewey, Columbia University, Harry Hay, and even Obama's communist mentor, Frank Marshall Davis. Well, my book lays out the stunning story of how these radical leftists have been looking to reshape, redefine, and take down natural, traditional Judeo-Christian marriage and family for 2 centuries. Our culture now stands in their footsteps. Gay marriage may be new, yes, but its attempt at redefining and smashing the Judeo-Christian standard is not new at all. That sinister effort has been going on for a long, long time, and the vast majority of Americans and even gay marriage supporters have no concept of the malevolent forces long at work. You, Savage, however, do understand. You get it totally. Anyway, I would love to come on your show to discuss this for the benefit of your audience. And it would be a pleasure to have the discussion with someone who knows the dark history and the dark figures. And with the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on marriage coming up, not to mention all the other marriage, family, transgender cultural insanity, which is the cultural Marxist dream come true, there could not be a better time. His book is called The Communist Frank Marshall Davis, The Untold Story of Barack Obama's Mentor, by Paul Kengor, Ph.D. And so when you see these issues of poisoning the children's minds, whether in Italy or here with these gender stories, or the gay marriage propaganda that it's wholesome, you have to understand where this is coming from. You have to understand that they're taking down our culture. You have to understand that you have to not be so nice to everyone, especially when they are walking around with the knives out behind their back. WJR Walt, fire away. You're on the Savage Nation. On which topic?
Yeah, Michael, on the Pope. I've been a practicing Catholic Christian ever since baptism, and ever since this Pope came into view, I've taken a sabbatical from the church, and these are the reasons. The Catholic bishop's stance on illegal immigration. The Pope was going to be Che Guevara to the Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
The global warming was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Absolutely. So what church do you now attend?
I'm not. I love the Catholic Church, but right now I can't support it. I'm not going to go.
Oh, wow, that's a big statement. That's a big statement. I'm going to send you a Father's Day gift countdown to Mecca, and I'm going to say that the Pope is doing more harm than he may imagine with his far-left ideology.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage. Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
I beat China all the time. When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo? When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. The big lie. Obamacare. $5 billion we spent on a website. I hire people. They do a website. It costs me $3. Are you running? Are you not running? I am officially running for President of the United States. We need a leader that wrote The Art of the Deal. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. Free trade can be wonderful if you have smart people. But we have people that are stupid. I like China. I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China. They have bridges that make the George Washington Bridge look like small potatoes. I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I'm really rich. I love the Saudis. Many are in this building. Obama, a year ago, Yemen was a great victory. 2 weeks later, the place was blown up. We're dying. We're dying. We need money. Thank you, darling. But Mr. Trump, you're not a nice person.
We don't need nice.
That's true. But actually, I am. I think I am a nice person. We have losers. We have losers. I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump. We won't be using a man like Secretary Kerry, goes into a bicycle race at 72 years old and falls and breaks his leg. I won't be doing that. The American dream is dead. But if I get elected president, I will bring it back bigger and better and stronger than ever before, and we will make America great again.
Well, let's hope so, and let's hope that Donald really runs and chooses a great running mate that we can really, sink our teeth into, so to speak, such as Dr. Ben Carson. That's a winning ticket. Because that Dr. Ben Carson is the antithesis to the president we have now. Ben Carson is genuine. He is not a construct. Ben Carson is a pediatric neurosurgeon, which is about as difficult as it gets in neurosurgery. Ask any neurosurgeons about pediatric neurosurgery. You cannot fake your way into pediatric neurosurgery. And although he is African American, he did not need affirmative action to become a pediatric neurosurgeon. He had the brains and the skill set to become a pediatric neurosurgeon. The opposite is true for Barack Obama, who has used race as a weapon to get where he is. And so I support the Donald Trump candidacy. I hope he runs, and I hope he chooses someone like Carson. And we'll wait and see. The other topic is, the one that won't go away is the fake black, this Rachel character who continues to lie about her race. She's a con woman, in my estimation, nothing more and nothing less. And thus far, I have not seen any members of the civil rights community, speak out against her activities. I haven't seen any of the pompous members of the Congressional Black Caucus who are just so offended by everything, not offended by her, apparently. Why not? Why has there been no march and demand for the truth about Rachel Dolezal? Which raises a bigger question, by the way, which is that if she can fake her race by claiming there is no such thing as race, race is just a construct, well, if we take her on her word, as many of the leftists do, then we don't need these race-baiting organizations who are built only around race, right? Anyway, just a thought. The phone number here is 855-400-7282. We're also talking about the sexual madness in our schools. Italian families protesting this Saturday the forced cross-dressing of school children by deviants and perverts. When did the word deviant and pervert, when did the words deviant and pervert get dropped from the English language dictionary? Has anyone told me that they have read an official statement that there's no such word as the word deviant? There is no such word as the word pervert in the dictionary? You know, those words still exist. In fact, as I speak with you today on the Savage Nation radio program, I am rifling through my books. Here they are. And I'm going to get for you two books that I use on occasion. One is the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and the other is Roget's Thesaurus, which I've enjoyed since college days. And both of them have words in them. Now, maybe these are old editions. They could be old editions. They could be the old straight white male edition. I don't know. There may be a new edition that I'm not aware of. But let me go into the old straight white male Merriam-Webster Dictionary and look up the word pervert. And let us see if the word has any meaning. Pemmican, penology, filter. Oh, it takes a while for me to flip through the pages in the old way. I know I should be doing it on the internet, and it'd be faster, admittedly. But I want to use the old straight white male's dictionary just for now to see what this antique book has to say. And here it is. Perspective. I have to turn the page now. Pert. We're getting there. Pervade. Perverse. Here we go. Perverse. Turned away from what is right or good. Robert, that's the actual definition. Turned away from what is right or good. Perverse. Corrupt. Obstinate in opposing what is reasonable or accepted. Okay. Perversion. The action of perverting. The condition of being perverted. A perverted form of something. Aberrant sexual behavior. That's perversion. And now we get to the verb pervert. 1, to lead astray, corrupt, mainly the young. 2, to divert to a wrong purpose, misapply. Synonym, deprave or debase. Interesting. So these words do exist, perverse, perversion, pervert, in the old straight white male Merriam-Webster Dictionary. I do not know if they're still permitted to be taught on university campuses where perverts have taken over the colleges and universities. I'm sure that they've rewritten the dictionaries, because the dictionaries themselves may be found offensive to so many on the campus, let us say 0.001%, who are now running everything. Isn't that true? Yeah, okay, you get the picture. Well, it's time for us to stand up and not take it anymore. And Donald Trump, by the way, is the man to do that. You see, I told you before, a fish rots from the head down. Because Obama is so rotten, he has rotted the nation. He is corrupt. He is a liar. He is a deceiver. He says one thing and does another. He talks about global warming, and he and his wife fly all over the world on huge airplanes spewing pollution, if you want to put it that way. He talks about the immigrants and the poor, and he ridicules the 1% when he only associates with the 1%. I should say the 0.001% who support him. He is a liar. He has perverted the meaning of the word president, in my opinion. He has led us astray. Donald Trump would be the opposite. That's my opinion. By the way, the same could be applied to the Pope, who has perverted the Catholic Church with all of his leftist teachings. And I stand by those words. He is the opposite of what the Catholic Church stands for. The Pope is the opposite of what the Catholic Church stands for on too many issues. I don't know how Catholics can support this. I don't understand it. WMAL Susan, you want to speak on that issue? Please do so.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Savage. I agree with you about the Pope. I left the church about 5 years ago for the same reasons that the previous caller had. But in my case, it was through the Archdiocese of Baltimore when they were giving out social justice propaganda, and on Easter Sunday they had the audacity to encourage people to bus into D.C. They would charge them nothing so they could go down there and fight, and I say that with quotes, for immigration.
Now, why is it that the Catholic Church is in favor of illegal immigration? You know the reason, right?
I think they've been bought off, to be quite frank with you.
Well, there's two reasons. One is Catholic Family Services receives hundreds of millions of dollars a year from the federal government, which was already an abomination, in order to house, feed, clothe, and transport illegal immigrants. So does Baptist Family Services. So do